Hi, today we have with us Bill Watson, International Education Director, Toni and Guy UK. Here's from the man himself. Hi, Bill.
Hey, how are you?
So let's go straight to the top. What does artistic innovation mean to you in the context of Toni and Guy globally?
We're a company that's 60 years old, and we've always tried to continually reinvent ourselves because the world around us is always changing.
How do you ensure consistency in brand identity while embracing local creativity?
We learned a lot by this first adventure into an international market.
So how has Toni and Guy's educational philosophy evolved under your leadership?
I've worked with a very big, talented bunch of people for a very long time, some very special hairdressers I've managed to rub shoulders with. So personally, I never frame it as me doing anything.
What was your earliest memory you remember of falling in love with hair as an art form?
16 or so, and my sister was a few years older than me, and she was making clothes, and she used to sneak me into bars and nightclubs. And it was the early 80s, and it was all you're watching these trendy music videos from London, and I'm looking at these very good-looking guys or girls with really cool hair. Suddenly it's like, wow, trying to get your hair right. That was my light bulb moment. In my career, I have a list of people like this. They're not famous, but boy, are they famous to me. If I'd never met them, my life would have been very different. So I think I got lucky at a very early age where people made me dream and they supported me. I failed all the time, I tripped over all the time, but someone had some kindness and they picked me up.
So let's do a quick rapid fire with Bill.
Okay, cool.
So Bill, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Your favorite South Indian dish?
I'm addicted this trip to fish tikka.
Okay.
I'm absolutely addicted to fish tikka. I can't get enough. Thank you, Chennai.
Hi, today we have with us Bill Watson, International Education Director, Toni and Guy UK, and currently based in China. He's been with the iconic brand for 31 long years and is still going strong. Here's from the man himself. Hi, Bill.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you for being here with us in Chennai.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
So let's go straight to the talk. What does artistic innovation mean to you in the context of Toni and Guy globally?
Yes, it's a really good phrase, and I think we've always prided ourselves. We're a company that's 60 years old, and we've always tried to continually reinvent ourselves because the world around us is always changing. So when I think of innovation, I think it also implies that things work. So we just don't want creativity sometimes for creativity's sake, but we want to fold it into our lives so it makes our lives easier. And that's one of the current anomalies with beauty, isn't it? It's got to fit into our landscape of how we live our lives. We can't change our lifestyle to suit beauty, so beauty has to fit into our world.
True. How do you balance trend-setting, styles with global classic signature creations?
Yeah, it probably isn't as big a challenge as sometimes as people think. I think fashion is always there as a suggestion of ideas. It shouldn't dictate to us. We should use it to help us express ourselves. For us as a company, the innovation bit, like we said in the previous answer, and this one with classic and modernity, it's about offering our clients everything and then them interpreting how they would like to take on board different values from current fashion. And that way we feel like we're having exciting days every day rather than it being a dictation. Trends are great, trends are cool, but they shouldn't be beaten around our head to make us feel like we have to fit in.
As someone who's worked across continents, so many continents, Asia, Japan, Australia, how do you adapt to Toni and Guy's creative ethos across, different cultural aesthetics?
Yeah, it's good. The funny thing is originally we're a UK company, and I think London's famous for being very, very cosmopolitan. So when you work in central London, your 9 o'clock client might be English, your 10 o'clock client might be from China, your 11 o'clock might be from Hyderabad, your 12 o'clock client might be from Sweden. So in a funny way, you have to have this form of education that gives you the freedom and knowledge to make better choices with different fabrics. And in a funny way, that's the way we view hair. It's just fabric. the way you cut denim this way or silk this way. So for us, interpreting it internationally is not as difficult as it sounds. And to be honest, because we also have a multicultural staff base, when we've moved around the world, we love the fact we absorb domestic tastes from different worlds. They add colour to who we are. You know what I mean? So we've always been very open-minded to hearing ideas of what local beauty is and interpreting it and folding it into our aesthetics that we have as a company. So yeah, it's not challenging in a funny way. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of fun when you get these new versions of beauty come across your path. It's very eye-opening.
How do you ensure consistency in brand identity while embracing local creativity?
Yeah, this is one thing, again, I think because, our first international branch was in Japan back in 1985. That wasn't an intentional testing ground for us, but that was taking basically a European aesthetic and planting it somewhere in a very different culture with very different hair type. So we learnt a lot. We learnt a lot by this first adventure into an international market. And the one thing we then found was we needed to strip our education back, and this may sound weird, where it's not totally taste orientated, but design orientated. So teaching people what techniques do and then giving them the ability to interpret it to local taste, to local hair types. So that challenge of traveling around the world and developing Toni and Guys in many countries, it actually put us under a little bit of a pressure to really keep reevaluating our education techniques. So we always come with this ammunition of 60 years of traveling and shows, etc. But we try to not make it dictatorial in the fact of what taste should be like. It's like, this is what this does. If someone gives you a hammer and says this is a nail and you hit it hard, you can build something. And we almost look at it fundamentally like that. What education would give our staff freedom to express their self and for their clients to get the expression in their hair they would like. So yeah, we made it it sounds a little bit unsexy in that way, where it sounds maybe too logical, but that's the foundation that we can take around the world. And then we build from that, from very, very, very good basics.
Amazing. So how has Toni and Guy's educational philosophy evolved under your leadership? It's been 30 years, so I'm sure there's lots that's changed.
Oh yeah, look, I've worked with a very, very big, talented bunch of people for a very long time. Some very special hairdressers I've managed to rub shoulders with. So personally, I never frame it as me doing anything. I'm just part of a group of really creative people, and we get together and we work together and we come up with ideas and we push each other and support each other. So I think our philosophy, how has it changed? I think we're far more flexible. I think, the world 30, 40 years ago, certain fashion capitals around the world were very, very dominant, and they still are very, very important. But I think we live in a far more inclusive age because of many issues going on in the world, and we've all got smarter, and forms of beauty have changed a lot. So our philosophy is still about making people feel comfortable in their skin. Hairdressing is a subservience in the industry. We serve others. So maybe if we've had a dramatic change, it would be in that even opening our eyes more to have more inclusivity to different tastes and values.
Amazing. So going back, what was your earliest memory? Do you remember falling in love with hair as an art form?
Okay, being honest, it was probably a naughty thing. I was very young at school, 16 or so, and my sister was a few years older than me, and she was making clothes, and she used to sneak me into bars and nightclubs. And it was the early 80s, and it was all you're watching these trendy music videos from London, and I'm looking at these very good-looking guys or girls with really cool hair. And suddenly my hair became very important to me, and I realized people were very skilled. I wasn't even dreaming of being one myself, but suddenly it's like, wow, here's a story. You know what I mean? It's that unspoken communication. So those early days in the 80s of running from club to club and trying to get the coolest hair and spending a couple of hours trying to get your hair right, that was my light bulb moment. Hair's important.
So what kind of advice would you leave behind to those, hoping to join the industry?
Just don't get scared. Don't get scared. Surround yourself with the best. by the best, I don't always just mean the technical best, but look for the people who are going to care about, are you very good? And those who recognize the fact that you're simply trying very hard and put an arm around you. Again, in my career, I have a list of people like this. They're not famous, but boy, are they famous to me. If I'd never met them, my life would have been very different. So I think I got lucky at a very early age where people made me dream and they supported me. I failed all the time. I tripped over all the time, but someone had some kindness and they picked me up, make me believe again, and I try again. So just never say no. Say yes to everything. Give it all you've got. Because even if you're not successful, you know you went out swinging. Don't talk yourself out of opportunity. Just go for it and look for the right people to support you.
Awesome. And let's end with maybe 5 top trends that you foresee for this year or the next year.
Okay, maybe, well, I think maybe not a super fresh one, but I think one that's very relevant is the adoption of curls. We really are shaking off people feeling that they have to change their texture to fit into fashion. And I think that's the inclusivity bit. Like I've noticed here in India, more and more Indian women have this beautiful hair and they're embracing it. They're wearing it curly. And I think also from what I can see a little bit, they're really embracing cutting shapes into their curly hair. So I see that is a very global trend. And I think it speaks of confidence. This is my texture. This is who I am. So I think that's a very important one. I think that will continue for quite a while. Color also too is something that I think we have to really visit, because here in India, this beautiful, very beautiful dark hair, and I think with the textures that are changing in fashion, how sophisticated the color is, that's when you can see depth in the shape as well. So I think when you look at a lot of modern, very, very nice work, it's not just a cut, it's not just a color, it's that combination of the two. So I think that's a trend you should be very aware of. I mean, every beautiful woman wears makeup. So just think of color like makeup for your hair. Like how would you like to detail it using color? Number 3, I think in a funny way, again, there's this little hint of casualness. You're seeing these, they give them different names every day. You have the French bob or the mixie bob, whatever, but you're noticing this little casualness coming into the finishing of hair, moving away from something super groomed. I saw this lovely picture the other day. One of the staff brought in a picture of one of your Indian actresses, and she had been to Cannes this year. Maybe you remember her name. She's got this really pretty little bob, and it almost looks under-dried, not so groomed. That sort of casualness, again, to confidence. So those sort of 3, those would be the 3 that I think would be really dominant. The number 4 would be, I'd probably start to head into things like product. Because also too, that's where products have got a lot more sophisticated. So like here in Chennai, where it's very high humidity, we've got great products like dry shampoos that can help the roots stay drier for longer. We have sea salt sprays that give you a really nice finish to your curls. So I think those would be the top 4 for me about actual trends. It's the stuff that's been lingering around for a while, but now we're getting the confidence to really to use it in a different way. The last one, which is probably a bit of a scary one, we've got a feeling that these lengths are going to play with a little bit of shortness. I don't mean that in a scary way. We've had long beachy waves now for a good couple of seasons, haven't we? So I'm sure there's a group of women out there going, well, I've had this, I need a change. So there might be some of this creeping up of length, and dare I say it, even some fringes. Keep an eye on those, what you might call bangs. I think they're going to play a part in the very near future.
Okay. That's so cool. So let's know a little bit of Bill as a person behind the hairdressing that he does. Let's do a quick rapid fire with Bill.
Okay, cool.
Quick one-word answers.
Be gentle.
So Bill, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Straight hair or curls?
Curls,
Early morning or late nights?
late nights,
Dogs or cats?
both. Okay, one, cats.
Gym or yoga or walks?
Gym,
One word that your friends described you best as?
kind.
Oh, so cute. A superpower you'd love to have?
I'm making everybody laugh.
Yeah, that you do. Yeah, you have this uncanny sense of humor. I'm loving it.
I love the sound of laughter. So if I have a superpower to make everybody laugh, that
You
would
do
be the
have
one.
that. You're
Cool.
blessed with that. Guilty pleasure, some movie that you're watching right now.
Guilty pleasure. Okay, I'm one of those old dinosaurs, so I don't use Spotify. I carry around a Sony Walkman, which is a little
Oh,
digital
okay.
player. And I carry around 6,000 tracks on my...
Okay.
I listen to anything. You might listen to it and you might find anything from hip hop, heavy metal. And the guilty pleasure comes in where it might be the odd Kylie Minogue track. Or it might be a bit of John Denver or something like that. So I have a very eclectic taste in music. I always think of it as a soundtrack of my life. So I have many different feelings in my life. My guilty pleasure would be music. And
I see.
there's a few pop-ups in there where you're like, don't play it in public.
Your favorite South Indian dish?
Oy, I'm addicted this trip to fish tikka.
Okay.
I'm absolutely addicted to fish tikka. I can't get enough. Thank you, Chennai.
Thank you, Bill. It was such a pleasure having you in Chennai with us, and I think this is going to be very inspiring for all the people in the hairdressing industry and otherwise, even in the fashion industry.
Well, look, for me, I've been coming to India a long time, so thank you to all you wonderful Indian people who always make me feel comfortable and loved here. Thank you very much for your kindness.
Thank you.